iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. Chippa United nil Mamelodi Sundowns 1 DSTV Premiership on a Wednesday evening. A lot of people have already been writing false articles about Klate and the fact that he had already been fired. I'm sure abanye sebebhala ngoku already ukuthi Klate unikwe special leave. Usually Chippa Mpengesi doesn't fire his coaches. He just gives them a special leave. Difficult game for Sundowns. They should have scored a lot of goals, obviously, and they were the dominant team, obviously. But Klate made it very difficult to do.
Kabuyelo.
Mr. Q.
Mr. Tso.
That's why I turn the ball. Ebola, there's questions and there's answers if you understand the game. Ngibulise wena mfethu, ngibulise uJustice, ngibulise uchairman wethu, ngibulise nani lapha emakhaya. Cela support iDiskiTV nje. Beka nje njalo akuchike futhi. Mr. Q.
Before you go, I'm so sorry. Should Klate be packing his bags, or do you think he's gonna get the text message on 5x? I love you, but it's not working. It's not you, it's me.
No, unfortunately, just have to learn it the hard way.
No, knowing the owner. I'm not saying.
Yeah, the owner.
I'm not asking what we have.
Oh yeah.
Knowing the owner.
Hey, yazi but umuntu nokujike susu njengotshwala Mr. K. So you'll never know. Ingangena ngo5 ekseni message ukuthi no thank you very much unubone kahle yimi ngabonanga kahle so yeah thank you very much so you'll never know anything is possible ku Chippa lapha but kulego one thing that I will say well done ku Klate. You know, we confused the Sundowns until the last minute. And you look at the way Enzanga Corner, Sundowns, they used to a team that will sit back, but having that structure. Seeing that they're sitting back, but they're playing for maybe 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 or 4-5-1. But you'll see there's a structure. It means in that structure, then these are the pockets that I will get. So in this game, it was so tight, very tight for Sundowns to get those pockets because he was playing in lines. And when he was playing in lines, he was very close in those lines. So it was so difficult. That's why you saw Sundowns, they had to go wide. They tried to penetrate here in the middle, but you could see it was so difficult for them to get to those pockets. So they had to use the width. And it tells you a good team. Yes, a lot of people, they will say, but why Klate wins and so on? What can you do against Sundowns? I mean, Sundowns, pound to pound, you can't match them. You know, quality of those players, the experience of those players, the football that they're playing. They're arrogant with the ball individually.
So I'm so sorry. So I'm glad you say that because a lot of coaches watch our videos. You guys know this, and they talk to you about these things. And sometimes it's as if we must show what you were not removed from a reality. Number one, anyone who's watching South African football for the first time, they need to understand that Sundowns has the best pool of players at any given moment in South Africa. If a player with Chippa United scores 20 goals, Sundowns buys them, and then they join Sundowns. And then you have to rebuild again. If a goalkeeper at Chippa United gets 30 clean sheets in 30 games, Sundowns buys that player, and then you are left with nothing. You always have to rebuild. So when you are going to punch against those guys, yes, you guys were critical about the fact that baya vegan, but that is pretty much the only way. And if Gavin Hunt showed us, that's the only way, but then you must maintain some sort of bite, here and there. But predominantly, by and large, you must know that that is the big club. Anytime you have a good player, they're going to buy it, and therefore you will be left with lesser quality players, so that when you face them, you can't win really. You could win on tactics, but if you're lucky on that day, so you have to understand at some level that these are the tactics that are practical and pragmatic. This is how I'm going to play against these guys. If I open up and I play toe to toe, they're going to beat me 5-0.
Mr. Q, facing Sundowns is like a Springbok says apaitwa ilayoni samenenje ukubaleka. Then now face to face with the hyena where the energy is no more there.
Yeah.
The Springbok is injured. So obviously, so that's how it is in Sundowns, because when you look at them, those players, individual, it's so hard. I feel for these coaches sometimes, but unfortunately it's work. No, they need to go there and work. They need to implement their way of playing. They need to coach those boys. But facing Sundowns, it's a very tough job, because when you look at Mushishi, I mean, how can you match Mushishi? You need 2 players to pick up Mushishi. I won with the quality of Mushishi. We look at Mayema Lapana, Abo Ban Averda Lapayana, Savetra, Abo Shalulile. So if you assign 2 players in each of those players, it means you are left with 5 players of Sundowns that are free again. So it's always going to be a challenge. But that's why I'm saying, well done to Klate. He did frustrate the Sundowns with the way he did. Yes, I was so critical in the sense that when you do that, at least try and find something good. Even Punyuganyana. Manga Punyuganyana, Amashai Ganj. Yabon. Manga Tolanya Imbobonyana, le Imbobonyana inalit. Hangen. We understand. So, but it happens, I think, it is again, I think, twice. Especially there was the one that it was second half where it was a 2v2. Yeah. Take him on. Go to him. And especially, another thing is players, they need to understand Uguti and know that player is a right-footed player. When you attack him, take him to the right, then you change side to his weaker foot, then you go. Because in that era, he was in the box. Right? He was getting inside the box. Take him on there. Or either try and get a combination play with your teammate. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So I think he learned from Kavin Tuguti. This is how you can squeeze Sundowns. But where he didn't get it right is when you get a ball. This is how you need to do. Yeah. So unfortunately, but when we've got to Shalulile in the box, that's one thing that also Sundowns they did today. That Shalulile don't make runs outside the box, stay inside the box, and look, it worked for them.
All right, there you go. That's Chippa United, Mamelodi Sundowns. Yeah, we will repeat this again. When you look at the broader context of South African football, this is going to happen. It happened with Sikokune. They were so defensive in the first half when they played against Sundowns until on the 45th minute they conceded, and then in the 46th minute of the second half, in the first minute of the second half, 46 minutes of the game, they literally started playing. Within 20 seconds, they scored. And then Sundowns was on the back foot, and that's how it became an open game. But for the most part, you would be really naive if you think that you're going to be able to play as a coach toe-to-toe with those guys. Because at the end of the day, the context still stands that for whenever you have a great player playing for your club, that team is going to take that player. And if that player is going to play you, and you're going to lose. You're going to be left with inferior player. Sundowns is an all-star team. It's an all-star South African team. Every position they have 2 players who are all-stars. What do you do then when you play against them? So this almost succeeded today, but almost doesn't count. Well done to Mamelodi Sundowns. iDiskiTV, iDiski Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you very much for watching us.